Welcome, family. God bless you. Thank you for joining Simplicity Radio. We are your host for Simplicity Sunday. And let me tell you this, we're so glad that you tuned in with us.
Yes, indeed.
I want to just tell you that if nobody told you today that God loves you.
Yes.
And we do too.
Yes, we do.
Angie, Renee,
yes.
I want to first say that we have been in the community for some times, but I think there's no greater time than this, that God has given us this platform to use.
Now.
And I want us to do it to the hallelujah highest.
That's right.
I feel good. I'm Angie B, better known, real name, birth name is Angela Bingham, along with
Angela Ponder, also known as Angie Renee.
So we are the Angies. And we want you to know that simplicity is for you.
Yes.
We want everyone listening and tuning in, whether you listen now or listen later, and do both.
Yes, and share.
Yes, and share. We want you to learn to simplify your life with Jesus Christ. And if you choose to, you will learn his plan for your life. And with the plan for your life, you have a purpose in your life. And then with the purpose, he'll give you the supernatural peace to live in the purpose. And then with the supernatural peace, he'll give you that supernatural passion to love what you do. It will exude out of you. And everybody around you will understand that you were called for this. And then when he gives you that passion, he'll give you that patience to deal with others, to deal with yourself.
That's right.
And we are in this thing to win it.
Come on.
And you can do that when you simplify your life with God, especially when he gives you that supernatural power to do just that. And can't nobody separate you from the gift and the call that God has inside of you.
Yes.
You just walk it out and walk it out and keep walking it out. Well, see, I've lit the torch, Angie Renee, and we want everybody to understand. Get pencil, get paper, because our guest today is full of information.
Yes,
and he's someone that God has called to the position. He just looks like it, y'all. So, Angie Renee, we thank God. Let me tell everybody to thank you for praying for my mother.
Yes.
She is making progress.
That's God.
And she has... it's just, we've seen the miraculous power of God. Let me tell you, the doctor's report is the doctor's report.
That's right.
It's the fact. But God's report is the faith that we believe. And God said, I'm healed. And we told our mom to say, I'm healed. My mama said, I'm healed. And we said, amen. Amen. And we have seen the progress of our great God that we serve. That's why you need to simplify your life. Because when you do that, see, he'll make it easy for you to even love on him and let him love on you. All right, you got it, Andrew Renee. It is lit. Living in trust and truth of God.
Amen. All right. Good evening, everyone. And thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We do not take it lightly. You could have been anywhere tonight, but tonight you are with us, and we so appreciate it. Well, our guest tonight is no stranger to the Simplicity Desk. He is a husband, a father, a businessman, and a Democratic member of the Tennessee House of Representatives, representing District 54 since 2009. However, 2019. However, last month, Representative Vincent Dixie announced that he would be entering the race for the Democratic primary, running for Tennessee's 7th U.S. Congressional District seat, recently vacated by another representative. We've got a lot to get into tonight as we discuss talk topic power, progress, and predators. Please join us in welcoming Representative Vincent Dixie to the Simplicity Desk.
Thank you so much.
You've never got a welcome like that.
I'm not. Maybe I should take y'all with me when we start going places. I think I like that.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I go to, of course, election season. You go to about 2 or 3 different services every day. So it's like I was telling my wife, we were joking. I was like, people always say, "Oh, the black church is dying. People not coming to black." I was like, I don't see it, because every church I go to, they're overflowing. It's packed. And I was like, and I'm Catholic, and we've been going to a lot of these Baptist churches, AME,
Yes.
Kojic,
Yes.
and they worship a little bit different than we do in the Catholic church. I told my wife, I said, I done joined about 5 churches. And I was like, I gotta stop doing that. They every Sunday, it's just like it moves you. It
draws you in.
Yes.
The Spirit will draw you in.
If you
That's the soul.
If you don't feel it when you do definitely leave different than you came. If you come with an open heart and a clear mind, you will definitely leave different.
Absolutely.
100%. Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much.
You celebrated on Wednesday, August 20th?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Happy
man, you
belated
do your
birthday.
homework around here.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do here at the Simplicity Desk.
Or either y'all are stalkers, one of the two. I don't know.
We are friends on social media, so I saw that.
No, I know. I'm just messing with you. We've been friends since we were 12 years old.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So go ways
He
back.
and his wife. I love to see. I was like, oh man, I knew them when.
Yeah, there's
That was awesome.
definitely a connecting spirit.
Yeah.
And then we want to support,
Yes,
the endeavors that God has ordained for you.
that's right. Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all the help and the prayers, because that prayer does change things.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's not an act. You're not doing this because it's a radio show. This is just who you are. And you can feel it, and you see
Thank
it.
you, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Amen. Before we go any further, Angie B, that's me. I forgot to say, we want to appreciate the best producer in the whole wide world.
We got right to business, didn't we?
Did we?
Come
no
on.
other than Connor.
Yay.
Connor, we definitely love you.
We love you, Connor.
Makes it good and easy for us to be all over the
my
nation.
goodness. Oh, he's showing
He
us
gave
a
love
heart.
sign back.
That's so sweet.
So we want to just, because it takes a village.
Yes,
It takes
it
a village
does.
for us to do what we do. No man is an island.
That's right.
Amen.
And,
That's
and
right.
I really love about, even with Angie Renee, how God connected us. And for us to really
Not a
respect
coincidence.
the humanity in each other.
That's right.
Just everything.
It's a blessing.
It is. I'm just blessed to have you on the show again tonight.
Yes,
And we want you to give the information that you have experience, your experiences along with the
Yes.
information that you're going to share tonight. Our audience is ready, because I know I sure am.
I know. I was gonna say, are we ready for the conversation?
Oh, yes.
And the time
All
is
right.
now.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna kick right off.
Amen.
Let's talk about a little predatory lending. What does predatory lending look like in Tennessee today, and who is most affected by it?
It's funny. It's very expensive to be poor, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
we pay
indeed.
some of the highest. When you're poor, I say we, because I'm in there too. We pay some of the highest interest rates that they're in the country, right? So we passed a bill that basically took the cap off what it was, and now it's over to, I think, 300% that they can charge on these payday loans.
Wow.
The people who need it the most.
100.
The people need it the most. It's over 300%. The people who need it the most now going to pay more. So you think if somebody just need $200 to bridge this gap, they'll never pay that off.
No, they
always
won't.
be paying it off, and then they'll end up in court, and it hurts their credit even more.
Right.
So that predatory lending is a big issue here. And here in the General Assembly, we just passed a bill this past session to make it even worse for
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
under the underprivileged and the most vulnerable people who need help. It should be the other way around. We should be helping them to get on their feet, and instead we're driving them farther into poverty. And so it's a huge deal, and it's going to affect a lot of communities, especially black and brown communities. But at the end of the day, if what we're seeing now in this day and age, it's not really about black or brown race anymore. It's almost become a classist.
Class, yeah. Rich and
And-
poor.
Yeah, and if once people start to realize that, and that's what's dividing us, that they're making money on keeping us poor.
Right.
And hopefully people will wake up soon. I think we're at a turning point here in the United States.
Oh, I hope so, because the middle class is beginning to dissolve. We're almost to a point where we don't have. They're moving so far down the line. It's just it's scary.
Right. It's truly
scary.
becoming a world of have and have-nots. And
Yes,
predatory
yes.
lending, the premise of it is a good idea to help bridge a gap to somebody to the next thing gets more money. But the interest rates that they're charging are just astronomical. And once someone gets into, and Lord forbid if someone takes a $1,000 or $1,200 or a $2,500 loan, they will never pay that off because all they're doing is paying the interest every time they get paid. They'll never touch the principal. So how do you do that unless they get some lump sum of money? Then by the time they get a lump sum of money, they have other stuff that they need to take care of. So you're always in this struggle mode, right? And sometimes it feels like it's designed to keep not just that particular business, but the world itself is designed to keep us in this struggle mode. Because if you're in survival mode, you can't see tomorrow. You're just trying to get through the day.
Wow. Why do you think that these predatory lending services remain unchecked, in so many communities? Because I see them up everywhere. They're
everywhere.
More and more. It's almost like liquor store.
Yeah, it's not that, and they're only in certain communities too.
Absolutely.
They're not unchecked. It's by design. Like I said, the bill that we passed that last session, this last year, they can charge whatever they want to, basically. There used to be you can't charge the military, certain there's caps on what you can charge the military, but everybody else is free game. And I just can't understand why they would do that, why we would pass that bill and they're saying, oh, it'll make it easier for people to get money. It's not. It's what you're doing is digging them more in the hole. If you give somebody that's already struggling and you try, it's not a lifeline. That is definitely not a lifeline. The way is to give them a lifeline is to show them how to get out of that debt and stay out of it. Because they're just they probably need that money. It could be for a car repair. It could be for a hospital bill. It could be for anything that they need that they need at that moment if they just don't have. And I know I'm going to jump the gun, but this is just, I need to say this. That's kind of why I'm running for Congress.
Come on.
Because life is just getting so expensive for everybody. We're paying more for food, we're paying more for housing, paying more for health care. And nobody's looking out for these people. We've seemed to forgotten where we come from and who we're supposed to be representing.
Yes.
But that's a big part of the problem is the gerrymandering, because you have representatives picking who they want to represent rather than people picking who they want to represent. And that's why there's this huge disconnect on this national and state level. And they say, well, we say it all the time. I know you probably say it here too. People vote against their own interests.
Their own interests.
And this is what you get when you.
That's right.
We're at a turning point right now in this state. What are we going to do? This administration is showing that they don't care about anybody. It don't matter if you're black or white. If you're not in that 1%,
Yes.
that's the only color they care about.
That's it.
The rich get richer, the poor get poor.
Right.
And I'm glad you're running. Say
And
it again. Tell us again what you're running for.
I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives for Congressional District 7, which is seat that Mark Green vacated. So it's 14 counties. I will not name them all, but it goes from Montgomery County all the way down to Wayne County, but it includes Robertson, Dixon, Cheatham, Davidson, Williamson are some of the bigger counties, a little bit of Benton County. So it's a lot of rural areas in there. There's also some urban areas in there as well. But we can do this.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we can.
We can flip this seat.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Representative Vincent Dixie. I want to, what you said about people voting against their own interests, you would be surprised how many people really don't even understand what that means, like deer in the headlights.
You know what, that thing that bothers me the most, not bothers me, but I would love to do a study. I think we probably know the answer, but what does a Republican in Grundy County, which is the poorest county in the country, not in Tennessee, in the country, and a Williamson County Republican have in common? Williamson County is one of the more wealthier counties in Tennessee. What do they have in common? Crickets. So what I'm saying, and I wonder what is that connect. So we have to get over that today.
Right.
I was looking at my email on Friday. It took everything out of me not to engage this person. This person responded and was like, I would never vote for a Democrat. I really wanted to engage that person. I felt like that's the person that I need to talk to, right? Because I want to know, what is it that, why would you just make that blanket statement and just stick your foot in the ground? When Democrats are fighting for everything that you have, then I'm sure that, what's wrong with wanting people to have health care? What's wrong with universal child care? What's working? What's wrong with making sure people have a job and a place to live? So what about that you don't agree with? But they'll take some extreme example of something and say this is why. But we can have an extreme example on the other side as well too. So I have to believe that most people live in the middle, and it's just the people on those extremes that are getting the most noise, and they get the most, they get the platform because they're the ones that yell. But I think most people want to live in the middle. They want they want to live a simpler life.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So how has your work or your campaign addressed economic exploitation in underserved populations, neighborhoods?
Well, you start with that as far as the predatory lending. We have to have some guardrails for that because the rates that they're charging people is expensive right now. And then when you're going to have that, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but when you get the prime rate that's going to keep going up, and then you have banks that's going to add that, that's why the interest rates are so high. You know, that to buy a house right now it's very expensive. So you know, people that used to could afford a $300,000 house. Well, you can't even afford $300,000. I don't even know if they're building $300,000 houses anymore.
That's considered cheap.
Yeah, let's say a $500,000 house.
4 and 5 starting now.
Yeah, because of the payment is so high. Now they could probably only afford a $300,000 house. So it's the economics of it. So we have to put some sort of cap on what people can charge on these interest rates. We can do that, but it's like we've gone past we've gone past greed.
That's it.
Right.
We've blown right past greed. I don't even know what level we're at right now, but we're past greed. It's like, when is enough? How much money do you have to make in order to we don't give back? But people don't seem to have a problem with it. We're struggling. Most people right now are probably one paycheck away.
Yes.
You know, that includes me as well. And who is speaking up for that person that's living that way? You know? But this is supposed to be the land of opportunity.
That's right.
Yes.
And I don't feel like there's very much opportunity out there for us right now. But we can make it. It's not all gloom and doom. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to make sure that we're going to have an equal chance and opportunity. And that's what we're here for. We got to make life affordable. And especially here in, let's take Rutherford County. This is one of it, but it just doesn't happen in Rutherford County. It happens all over. You have these large corporations and hedge funds come by these huge communities. And when they do that, that drives up the price of housing.
It sure does.
It drives up the price of rent. And, you know, they base the rent on how much profit they need to make that day. So if you call today at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you call back at 2 o'clock, the amount of rent is going to be that you're going to get two different amounts because they base it on algorithm. And so that's one way that we can stop doing that. You know, we got to make sure. And the other side, we want to start making sure if we want to make our groceries a little bit more affordable, we need to make sure that we incentivize local farms and people to use local farms.
Yes.
And to help out our local farmers and our small farmers instead of
good.
Instead of giving it to these big, huge conglomerate things that we don't even know what they're doing to our food. We'll probably get better quality food dealing with our small farmers.
You're right about that.
So those are two things that I would like. I think that can help change some of this inflation that we're experiencing right now.
You're right about that, because they're spraying the fruits and vegetables, and nothing's real anymore. Everything is GMO and seedless and all that. So definitely supporting smaller farmers would help for sure.
Right, and you have to incentivize that.
Yes, you do. And you know, when they encourage people not to farm, because that's most of us. I know we grew up with gardens and farmers. That's what we knew. But now, you know, is go to the grocery store or, you know, put your money elsewise.
Right.
You really...
Quick and convenient.
Yes, and it's slowly killing us.
And probably, I bet you we were probably healthier, not because we're eating foods that didn't have a lot of stuff on it, but also when you're tending to something, it kind of calms you down a little bit.
It does.
It gives you a little time to get your mind together.
Yes.
Right. And I think that helps our mental stability too as well.
I believe that.
Yes, a lot of people now are getting gardens so that they can, whether it's flower gardens or food gardens, so that they can decompress after a day at work or a stressful day.
Now it makes sense. Now I know why my wife has all these gardens. I guess I've been stressing her out. Now it makes total sense. Hearing you saying that, it makes total sense now.
Absolutely.
I have a Pastor Rogers. He has a beautiful, beautiful garden, and he said, Sister Angie, he said, I get to go out and I get to communicate with God. He said, I love it. And then he gave me a whole bag of tomatoes. See? And that's how it is. We give. The garden yields more than what you plant.
Yes.
And you have to give. And that, I think that brought our communities, where we had the unity. But now everybody is like, I'm all for myself and me, mine, and nobody else. But I thank God for an awakening.
Yes.
But you know what? And just speaking of that, and I know I'll derail the conversation anyway, so you can just
No,
stop.
you're good. Go ahead. You're good.
I'll take us somewhere we wasn't planning on going. But we talk about this administration and things they're doing to people and dismantling DEI and all this other things,
Yes.
and all the bad policies they have toward black people. This is I look at it as an opportunity for us to come back to be community, and we have to support. We need to start supporting each other.
That's right.
Like for instance, I was like, when we were younger, my mom always worked. Long as I was raised in a single parent home, so my mom sometimes she would work, but they used to have swing shifts. But she work in the morning, come home for a little bit, and go back in the evening. But when I had home, my neighbors made sure that I was in the house at a certain time, to make sure I had something to eat, and then they just took care. We took care of each other. Nowadays, you see some kids walking down the street. You're like, what are they doing there? Where are their parents? They should be in the house right now. It's just a shame. We don't say anything, but we talk about them the whole time. But I'm literally a product of a village. My grandmother, my aunt, my brothers. They all poured into me to get me to where I am. They made a sacrifice, so I can't let them down.
My God.
Yeah. But also, we grew up in a time where the village was accepted by the parents. Now you can't say anything to anybody's kid that's not in your family, because then they get offended, and it's just a different time. Because we should be able to pull over and say, hey, where y'all headed? What's going on? But now, I mean, it's not safe. It's not safe. It's dangerous. So it's just a different time, and it's unfortunate.
We have
our neighbors.
Yeah, our kids are experiencing a lot more trauma than we had at those times. And I was like, I love cutting grass, and so, but when you talk about cutting grass, you talk about being outside. I do it myself because that's what we used to do, and you would get to know your neighbor because they may be outside in their yard. Right. So my wife and my next door neighbor, she won't let me. If she see him outside, I can't go outside because we're gonna talk for 2 hours. We're not gonna get anything done, and then we be like, oh man, it's got dark. Let me get on in here. But that's how it is. It's like we catch up on everything. We talk about everything, but that's how it's supposed to be. You catch up. I know it's kids. It's my kids. And that's just how it's supposed to be. We have that community, and we have to get back to that. That's the only way we can break this cycle of the way this world is going right now.
You're absolutely right.
I totally agree.
All right, can we transition the conversation real quick? Let's talk about the Tesla tunnel.
Nashville, Tennessee.
That is probably one of the grossest example of the good old boy network I've ever seen.
Done.
It was, none of that came through the General Assembly. I don't understand how you give state property away. We have zero conversation about it. It could be the greatest thing since sliced bread, or it could not be, but I didn't get a chance to vet it. That's my issue with it.
That's right.
And there's so many issues, environmental issues that we have there, then property rights issues. There's so much that we need to talk about, and none of that's being discussed. And then if we look at what they've done in Los Angeles, they haven't even built what they said they were going to build. I think it was supposed to be like 10 miles or something like that, but I think they've only done 3 miles, and those tunnels don't look very safe to me, but that's just me. I went right in it because it's just big enough for a car. It's not a lot of extra room in there. But so that's another thing, safety. If something were to happen while you're in that tunnel, how would the emergency vehicles get there? How would the police get there? How does that work? It's so many questions that nobody got a chance to ask, and we don't know the answers. And you just have Bill Lee just unilaterally say, "Oh, you can have this," to the richest man in the world. If he wanted, first of all, he could pay for it. Number one, let's put it that way.
Yes.
Number two is how do you not keep getting richer if you're getting stuff for free? You getting all the raw material. And when we literally went to the meeting, they had already the area that they wanted to use for a staging area was already fenced in. He was already set up for the usage. This was before we went to the meeting to approve it. So how would they know to go ahead and do that if we haven't even gotten to that stage? That's what I'm saying. It's just unfair for Tennesseans.
Right.
And I'm not saying that, that may be the best way to move people around underground. I don't know. But we didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that I have.
Right. You need a seat at the table. We all saw it. It was all over social media what happened. And that's very unfortunate because basically they don't care how we feel about it. All they care about is it's going to be done, and those who support it, whether behind the scenes they support it or not, forward facing they support it. And so it's full steam ahead, and the people that would oppose it, they kept out of the meeting.
Yeah, and true. But when you just look at that boring company's history, just Google them in Las Vegas, you see they have not performed on any of their contracts. So why are we giving them a free land and the other thing about Tennessee, especially in Nashville, our infrastructure is so old.
Oh,
I don't know if it can even withstand that. So without the civil engineering reports and let them do their due diligence, how do we know that it's even safe? Everything, these are hundreds of years old. Our infrastructure is hundreds of years old. How can, and we have a lot of sinkholes. We got a lot of, so I don't understand this.
And getting more sinkholes, the more water we get, the more rain we get. It's the flooding. They're more. And
I know. I get choked up.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating when you think about that we didn't get a seat at that table. We didn't have any representation.
But this is our opportunity where I tell people this is why your vote matters.
It does.
Yes.
By not voting or withholding your vote or saying, I don't want to vote for this, my vote doesn't mean anything. Look at what happened. Tennessee is 51st in voter turnout. That means the District of Columbia is more than us. And some of it's not even a state. Is more than us. So when people say Tennessee is a red state, we really don't know because people don't vote.
People don't vote.
If people were to come out and vote, we may be something. We may be purple. I don't know, but it's hard for me to believe that people are voting. That many people are voting against their interests. There's 7 million people in Tennessee. 7 million, roughly, thereabouts. In the governor's race, in the last presidential race, probably less than 1 million people voted. So you got 1/7 of people picking. It was under $1 million. I would say, $1 million. I wish I had $1 million.
Speak
maybe,
that.
maybe there was a Freudian slip. Come on.
Speak it into the atmosphere.
Yeah, and so you have a small percentage of people picking the leadership for this state. And that should be frightening. If you have 10% of the people probably picking the leadership for this state, that should be frightening enough to make people get up and come vote. But I think a couple of them, not talking to younger people because I try to outreach, because they're the ones that can make a difference. If 18 to 25 they will flip any election.
100%.
But I think a lot of them don't vote because one is, and not just them, but just people in general don't vote so they don't understand the issues. And when they get to the voting booth, they don't know who to vote for because they don't know. And so we have to do a better job of educating people and why it's important to vote and who to vote for and getting the right person in the seat.
Right. And one thing I know is generational. If the parents vote, the kids will vote.
Most likely.
Most likely, yes. Because I know for ours, they were raised going to the polls, and once we did made our selections, they pushed the button. That is how we got them used to going in there and voting. So now it's like we have an election coming up, and we provide them with the information, and we let them know y'all gonna get to the polls. We do it. We make it a family thing. Our kids are grown. We still go as a family because I need to make sure you're going to the poll. This is important.
Oh yeah, definitely same thing. We sit down and we talk about it. So this is probably the most heartwarming moment that I had as a dad when my oldest, when she goes to school away, 10 hours away. But she was like, I need to get my absentee ballot before I leave for school, so I need to get that in. So now when my other one, my youngest, left for school, that's the first thing. It was like, she was like, hey, make sure you get your absentee ballot so you can vote.
Wonderful.
Because this is a special election that's coming up. A lot of people don't know this is a special election, and it's the primary date is October the 7th, and early voting starts September the 17th. So that's another thing. A lot of people don't know that there's a special election coming up. And so it'll fly right by some people, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know. And the media is not doing a good job.
No, because I remember some of the voter remorse. They were saying, well, has the election, and then they didn't know who was running. The election was over, you know. So we do need to really, really educate. And when you were saying that, I remember in our household at 18, we looked forward to filling out the voter's registration and going to get your driver's license.
Yes, yes.
So that was just a done deal. It was understood.
They used to do it at the schools. Register them to vote.
Yes,
that's where I got registered. But now I don't know if they do it still though.
Well, I know you're ready to take a break. When we come back, I'll tell you about that. We had a bill about that too, and I got we got a lot of pushback.
Okay, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for listening and tuning in to Simplicity Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, we want to simplify all information so you will know what to do.
Yes.
And at the timing, don't be too late.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, our family, we want to stay abreast on what's going on in our community.
Yes, indeed.
We want to get the right people in office, not only for a party, but for their plan to make all things better for all people. Angie Renee, take it over. She's going to tell us what is going on in the community.
All right. Freedom Fun Gala. The NAACP Murfreesboro branch cordially invites you to their Freedom Fun Gala Black Tie Affair on Saturday, September 6th in the MTSU Student Union Ballroom. Doors open at 6:00 p.m. The theme for the event, freedom is non-negotiable, the fierce urgency of now. The event will include entertainment, fine dining and dancing, and community impact awards presentations. Individual tickets are $100 each. For more information, go to NAACP-Borough-freedomfund2025.eventbrite.com. Love Connection Ministries. Each and every Tuesday evening at 5:00 p.m., join the Love Connection Ministries and Team Tuesday at Oakland Restoration Church, 530 North Manny Avenue in Murfreesboro, as they sow seeds of love, compassion, and a hot meal to those in need, according to Matthew 25. Email teamsimplicityradio@yahoo.com for contact and donation information. To God be the glory for his provision. Attention seed sowers. Simplicity Radio is looking for seed sowers to bless our ministry so that we can continue to provide support for people in the community who need it most. If you would like to partner with us in our endeavors, you can donate via Cash App at $Simplicity with Angie, that's ANGIE, or you can email us at teamsimplicityradio@yahoo.com for additional payment information. Thank you in advance for supporting our initiative to help the Murfreesboro community. Simplicity Radio Volunteers. We are looking to expand our Simplicity network and are in search of volunteers who are experienced in the areas of media and events. If this is you and you are able to lend your time and creativity to our ministry, please join us. Please email us for details. Now, about next week's show. Join Team Simplicity next Sunday for a show on our Simplicity Chat series on talk topic, Tongues of Fire, Black Preaching in the Face of Lynching, with special guest Reverend Aaron M. Treadwell, PhD and History Professor of African American Studies. We will see you then for that conversation. Now back to tonight's Simplicity Sunday, Social Justice Sunday talk topic, Power, Progress, and Predators, with special guest Representative Vincent Dixie, candidate for Tennessee's 7th Congressional District.
Awesome.
I got tongue-tied.
Oh, that is okay. That was a lot. I do want to give a shout out to the best barbecue smell. We're going to eat it after the show, but it smells so delicious. And we want to thank Marty Luffman who bought it, and Beans Brothers Barbecue, and that is in Smyrna at the Depot District. We will be visiting you soon.
Yes,
anytime
indeed.
the barbecue can smell through the bag, oh, you know what you're doing. So we want to thank everybody for just thinking of us.
Yes, it's a blessing.
Thank you. Thank Mike Sparks also.
Yes.
For thinking
he
of
blessed
us.
Appreciate that.
Yes.
All right, we want to get back to the voter registration bill.
So there was a bill, actually I did it 3 years ago. Actually, Sam McKenzie was able to get it across the finish line. And it was interesting when I was in there presenting the bill. The bill, all it did was saying that the schools could just make an announcement. They can send a note home. They can do anything, just letting kids know when to register, how to register, and for supplemental registration. The Republicans voted it down. They were like, and it just so happened that when that bill was up, it was a bunch of high schoolers in there in the community room, and they looked at their state representative who was giving me all the feedback and the questions and trying to kill the bill. And they was like, they couldn't understand. And then he went out to try to talk to him, and they was like, so you don't want us to vote? Wow. But think about it. All it did was just let you know how to vote, how to register, when to register. Just basic information, not taking them, not even coming to the school to register to vote. And I remember that when we were in high school, they did do that, but I was too young because I was 17 when they did it. So I think if you're 6 months before the election nowadays, you can do it ahead of time. So if your birthday is 6 months before, maybe I can't remember if it's 6 months or whatever it is, but I think if it's 6 months before the election, you can actually go ahead and register, and then on a day that as you already be registered. So like we did that for my daughter Hannah Maria. Her birthday was October the 9th, and we went ahead and pre-registered her, so when she turned 9th, she was ready, and October the 9th she was ready to go. She was already registered for the November election. And so we as parents, we have to just kind of be a little bit more involved and aware educated. Like again, like it goes back to when we're in survival mode, it's hard to think about other thing else than besides putting food on the table and keeping a roof over your head. And we have to make sure that people have a good chance at a good life.
That's right. It's important. We have to vote.
Yes.
So now more than ever, if you're struggling to put food on the table, it's because grocery prices are high. It's because people are losing their jobs. It's because, a plethora of reasons, but getting to the polls is what's going to help change things.
And we have to have that mindset for the vote is a voice and vision.
Yeah, I mean, the tariffs, people don't understand the tariffs, or they'll say there's so much miscommunication is going on right now. People don't know what to believe. And a lot of times people like to be spoon-fed or told what to do.
Yes.
And, sometimes it's hard. That's why there was a reason why they were against what they call CRT, critical race theory, is what they said. And it's not critical race theory, it's just critical thinking.
Critical thinking, that's it.
Critical thinking, just to try to get to a problem, a resolution to a problem. And I always try to teach my girls that too. Always just think through it. What's the end goal? How are you going to get there?
Right.
You can outthink anybody. Just take your time to do it. So
I can't imagine depending on the information that someone else gives me and never digging into it for myself, not doing my own research.
Absolutely.
I can't be at someone else's mercy.
Right. I mean, but that's because you are a assertive person, and most people, they just want to get through life. So just think of all these issues and the policies that we have now. We're taking away Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security cuts. When people can't take care of their basic needs, what are you forcing them to do? We're taking away hospitals. Or you want them to die, or are you forcing them to do something in order to just survive? Because people will do whatever they need to survive.
They sure will.
And so what are we really doing here? This is supposed to be the richest country in the world.
Right, to thrive.
Nobody should be hungry here.
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Nobody should not have shelter.
Most cities are dealing with the homelessness, by the masses. And so many of us want to act as if they don't exist.
Yes.
I said, but when we no longer see people as humanity, and then we learned last week that there are 4 dog shelters right here in our city, but no homeless shelters. We have things twisted, and like you said, we have to change the mindset.
Right.
To get back to caring for one another. It's like the Bible says, when we do not have that, the rich will get richer and the poor will get poor. Then why? Because that center of greed, say, I want it all, and then at the expense of everybody else. Even children, even in our school system. We, as a teacher, I see children coming in hungry. Restless, and just wanting something to eat.
I totally get it. When you talk about things being twisted, now our juvenile court judge, Sheila Calloway, and our juvenile court clerk, Lionel Matthews do an excellent job. So this is no knock on them, but we're building a bigger juvenile justice center, right? But we're closing schools.
Right.
When you talk about getting twisted, like make it make sense. What are we investing in? And you know, when they start to build prisons based off 3rd or 4th grade reading schools, there's something wrong with that.
Yes.
There is something absolutely wrong with that. And we have to change it. We have the power to change that. But you have to have people that have like-minded interests in order that's going to fight for you. I mean, that look like you, but I still want you to have a chance at life. I want you to have, you deserve to be able to have a good paying job. One good paying job that can take care of you and your family.
Right.
Have a little bit left, pay all your bills, have a little bit left over to either save or do whatever you want to do with it. But right now, people are working 2 and 3 jobs. Like, my wife is an educator. She's a teacher as well. And we always have to supplement whatever she needs because they don't have enough.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to take care of some kids.
And we go in our own pockets every year.
Every other year.
But everybody will say, oh, we just need to do more for the teachers. And then when it comes to those taxes, no one wants to raise taxes to pay those teachers.
Well, even at the what they did last year when they passed the that voucher bill, they said they was going to give teachers $2,000 bonus. Depending on, you may have gotten it, but after they tax it, it's about $1,300.
And you're right, and we were complaining about that. Exactly.
I didn't even talk to you about that. You see,
I know.
I'm your representative.
I got you.
The taxes on bonuses and extra income is ridiculous. It's
you know,
ridiculous.
so but I mean, what are you gonna do with $1,300 as a teacher? You know, it's like that. What we need to do is get serious about education in this state, and you can see that they're not serious about education in this state. We spend more on prisons and the Department of Corrections than we do on education. That is an issue because our budget is a moral document. That shows where you spend the most of your money. That's where your priorities lie.
Right.
You know, we have good teachers that come in, especially like in the Montgomery area, in those military areas, because we have a really high population of veterans in Montgomery County and Davidson County. When they have those teachers that come in, their spouses may have been teachers. They can't. We don't have a reciprocal process for licensure here in Tennessee. So they would have to take the exams again, which you know firsthand about those.
Yes.
And a lot of them are like, man, I'm not finna. I've been teaching for 20, 15 years. I'm not getting ready to do that again. I can go work at the mall, or I can go get a retail job doing something else and make just as much money. So why would I go through all that?
Yeah, we're losing quality teachers.
So we've been trying to address that on the state level in little bits and pieces, but we haven't overall. But we also got to pay teachers more. You know, we just can't expect a teacher right now in Davidson County that teaches in Davidson County. If that person, he or she was single, cannot afford to live in Nashville by themselves. You know, there's no way. You're going to spend most of your money. Yeah. That's amazing. These are the people that we entrusting to take care of our babies.
Our today and future.
Yeah, and the people. Just think about the people who cook for us, take care of our kids, who take care of our loved ones. They're making very low wages, and we expect them to be able to survive. How? We can't. So, like, poverty is a policy decision, and we can change it through policy as well.
Yes.
You know, when I say that, we can change it through policy, that's what I'm talking about, making some of the laws. That's what I was talking about, putting a cap on what insurance can charge for some of their medications. You know, putting a cap on making sure hedge funds and large corporations can't come buy up housing. There's so many things that we can do. Giving tax breaks to small businesses, not even tax breaks, but giving them access to more capital so that they can scale. Give them I wouldn't say, I guess they can be micro loans with low interest loans.
Low interest,
or grants.
Yeah.
But instead, we give these largest companies, we gave them $1.6 billion in tax breaks over this last year that they didn't even ask for. So, they, as you said earlier, make it make sense. Yeah, so that's why somebody has to open their eyes to we're struggling because they make us struggle, and we do that, and we still doing this, and there's no reason. We just gave $1.6 billion tax cut, but we still have a grocery sales tax. So, and we haven't expanded Medicaid. And if you want to look at a cash crop, why haven't we at least passed medical marijuana where we could grow it? If you want to, you could offset a lot with the sale from the medical or recreational marijuana.
And you know, when I think about that, I think of the mass incarceration for African American men that are in prisons right now because of sale of marijuana or possession of marijuana. Could there be a mass release?
I would hope so. Well, you know, in Maryland, the governor Westmore, he pardoned thousands of people who had marijuana charges, and you know, she cleared their record because what they do allow them, now they can get a job, they can get housing. Because a lot of people won't hire you if you have a felony on your record, and it's hard to get housing when you have a felony on your record. But there's an opportunity for that to happen. I think I think it can be done, and that would be life changing for a lot.
Yes, it would.
Yes.
You know, it's hard for me to imagine that.
Expunge record. Ooh, that would be a blessing. That's a step.
It's just hard for me to imagine what's legal in Colorado is illegal here, and you can go to jail for. But the same thing here in Colorado, it would be fine. You know, it's just weird to me. So I think the government on the federal level need to come in and change the schedule of marijuana, and that would help out quite a bit. I think that would allow states to remove it from the narcotics list and change the schedule of that drug, and that would help out a lot too.
Wow. I just want to say this. I know you're running for the seat, and let's give you a little space right here. How could you make a difference for the public vote, people voting for you? What is your plan of action? How can you speak for the people?
Yeah, you sound like my wife. That's the teacher coming in. My wife.
You see her hands was.
Well, my wife says, listen, she said, when you talk to kids, you have to give them a real world application of how that it makes sense in their mind.
Yes.
If they can't see that it makes sense in their mind, they'll tune you out. You know,
immediately.
So you gotta always, you gotta have a real world example. And, you know, like I talk about affordability. People don't have a living wage right now. You know, the minimum wage hasn't been raised in 16 years. It's still at $7.50. And no one in here could survive off $7. Even if they change it to $17, which is what something I would push for, that is still not enough to make it in here. You probably need $20, $25 an hour just to live, not even comfortably, but just live.
Keep your nose above water.
So affordability is a big issue with me, and I'm trying to make sure that people do that. And when I say affordability, that encompasses a lot. And I talked about housing and how we could try to make sure that the housing costs try to stay down a little bit, because if people don't have a place to live, it's kind of hard to make ends meet. If you see with some of your children, like my wife teaches at an inner city school, and a lot of them, they may come in, they may not have had, their lights may have been turned off, may not have water. The parent, one or both parents may be incarcerated. The grandparent, there's a high percentage of them where their grandparents are raising them.
Yes.
So there's so many issues. Education is a big issue right now, especially when this administration is trying to dismantle the Department of Education. We got to make sure we've pushed it down to the states. Well, that's what they're trying to do, is push it down to the states. And it wasn't that long ago, but people trying to make it seem like it was a long ago. But you remember when the federal government had to come in and make sure that the states let black people go to school with white kids?
Yes.
So the states have a history of not doing right by people. And when they're dismantling this education, that's hurting everybody. That's hurting everybody. Not just black and brown kids, it's hurting everybody. There's teachers that are going to lose their job, the protections for the special ed kids that we have. There's that SNAP benefits. A lot of kids, they eat at lunch. Sometimes that may be the only time they eat. So there's so much that we need to fight for. And then it's just so much that you have to deal with. But just making sure we have those safety nets like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the SNAP benefits. These are the people, they need help. They're not saying that this is my way of life, but I need a little bit of boost to get me going. But we have to do job training and make sure that our kids are educated so that they can get a job, because at the end of the day, once you get through high school, you got to do something. College isn't for everybody, but you got to take care of yourself. You got to be a productive citizen, so you have to either go into the trades, you have to do something. And we got to do a better job of making sure those avenues are available. You know, because college is becoming unaffordable too. You know, you have
taking all
the
grants
athletes
away.
Well, you had some good athletes, so you got a little help on your end. But you know, we have to go to a lot of academic scholarships, but they're taking those away too because of the DEI, which I don't understand. That's another show in itself.
It sure is.
But there's an opportunity for us to come together as a community, and we're not just black community, but us just common folk come together and we can fight back. It's time to have somebody that understands you, your way of life, walked in your shoes. What can we do to make sure that somebody is representing you like you would represent yourself? And that's what I want to give people. Those are some of just a few things that I would fight for, but we have to make sure that people are educated and aware that there is a special election on October the 7th.
All right.
Early voting starts September the 17th. I have to say it 20 times, then people will remember.
That's right. That's right.
Always early vote. It's just easiest to go ahead and get it done. Don't wait. Some people, they just wait until the general election day, and I'm like, you could have gotten that done and been on about your way.
Well, sometimes people like that excitement, like my vote counts. See my vote count, you know. So, but I
storm or anything. I like to just be prepared. I'm a forward thinker.
Yeah, I early vote so much that I didn't know that where I was early voting was my actual precinct. I had looked on my voter registration card and I was like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to. But I early vote the first or second day. I always, because it's more, early voting is a lot of times it's more convenient because you can catch it on your route going coming home or something like that. So
and you don't have to worry about standing in long lines.
Yeah.
You never, you know, anything could come up in an emergency. So I just like to get my vote in. When I go vote,
Get out of the way.
My ancestors, you know, whenever, how I knew voting was so important, and it was a duty for me, because anytime you stop somebody's vote and tell, how can you guess how many bubbles are in a bar of soap?
Right.
You know, when you go to those extremes, you're telling me that's important. So when I go vote, it's like I'm taking my ancestors with me. They fought for that.
They fought for it.
And we got to do a better job of meeting our young folks where they are. Because a lot of times they feel excluded and it's not for them. And we got to make sure we get out and talk to them and just meet them where they are. Because voting is very important.
And it's before the time. You know, like you all said, it's raising your children, you know, to have that expectation. You know, that's part of your being a productive citizen. As far as I'm concerned. But like you said, if you haven't been taught that, then you don't have that mindset. But we need to change that narrative. And then again, it's time to take a break. I just hate breaks. But then again, we want you also to learn how to appreciate your voice, your vision, and especially take advantage of your vote.
Right.
All right, Andrew Renee, tell us about our social media.
All right. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Simplicity Radio, and on Facebook at Simplicity Sunday on WGNS. You can also listen to us in podcast format on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, iHeart, and Amazon Music streaming services. Just search Simplicity Sunday. Awesome. So Vincent, Representative Dixie, to the public, let everyone know how they can contact you, how they can support and get involved.
You must have been reading my mind, because I was like, I need to give you my campaign website. Is Dixie 4TN. So it's D as in David, IXIE 4TN.com. And you can go in there, you can volunteer. We need people to knock on doors, we need people to text bank, make phone calls. We need all, and if you have a little extra piece of change, we'll take that too. Fundraising is paramount, because we have to buy signs, we got to pay some people to knock on doors, we got to pay to be on the radio. It's a lot of different things. So people always wonder, like, if I give you money, where does all this money go? And in this particular race, we'll have to do some TV ads. And there's a thing called connected TV, which is the streaming sites, like Hulu, Netflix.
Right.
And we have to be able to buy some space on those as well. It's a lot that,
Yes,
what goes into it. So the money is very needed. Doesn't matter if you have $1 or you can only the individual $7,000, but don't get me in trouble trying to get more than that. But if you got $1,000 to $7,000, we'll take it, and we need it, and I appreciate it, because that means if you give me a little money, that means you support me and you believe in my mission, and I want to be a person that people say he's fighting for us.
Yes,
All right.
that's good.
Thank you, Representative Vincent Dixie. Well, we want to say that we hate to say this, but we are not out of talk, but we are out of time. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and tune in to us next Sunday.
Yes.
And we will let you know what else we can do for Representative Dixie. He will be back on our show, and we would love your support as well.
Yes, indeed.
God bless. Good night, and
Good
thank you.
night.